So I picked up this Azusa bike from Facebook Marketplace. It came with a Predator 212, totally stock, and the only thing done to it was a header pipe, air filter, and a zip-tied governor. And it did 40.24 and 4.20, 0 to 30. 4.20 with a 12 tooth on the clutch and a 60 tooth on the rear sprocket. So this time around, to see if I can beat up on the stock Predator 212, I'm gonna install this 212 Ghost engine. So I think this engine's rev limited or RPM limited to 6,000 RPM. So I'm not sure if it'll beat that stock Predator at top speed. And then it'll be interesting to see how much it beats it from 0 to 30. So anyway, I'm gonna install this Predator Ghost on the Azusa bike, and we'll see how it compares to the stock, pretty much stock Predator 212. So I'm gonna pull this pipe off here. I'll use the same exact pipe that's on the 212. So I'll hook this throttle real quick. Unbolt this engine. Move this chain guard on here. I think this slides off. Move this clutch. Stock Predator off, and the Ghost back on. Pop the flip on here. Install this clutch. Throw the same max torque on here. Oops. Oh, looks like the collar's a little bit different. Or the shoulder on the shaft's a little different. I don't need the washer on there. Let's see. Oh yeah. Pretty close to even. Cool. Right. On the same. Chain on here. Just throw on this pipe. Install this chain guard on here. Another thing I have to do is move this recoil back a little bit. It's a good thing to have this thing rated at 6,000 RPM or governed at 6,000 RPM because you get that stock flywheel on here. Throw a heat gun on this thing. Pull the sticker off here because you can't have a crooked Ghost sticker. That's the last thing you want is a crooked sticker. It could cause wind resistance and slow the bike down. So let's check out this carb and we'll see if it's the same or similar to a VM22 or a Nibby or a Makuni where you need about, I don't know, 2 1/4 at the end of the cable there. So it's probably very similar, so I'll just go ahead and cut it and maybe put like 2 1/4 inches off the end of it, and we'll solder a tip and we'll see what happens. So I pulled the handle grip apart, and now I'm gonna pull the cable out so I can cut some more off of here. So measure out about 2 1/4 on this thing. Oh yeah. So that's plenty. Make sure I get a lot of heat on these. Okay, let's put all this stuff on here and we'll see that is enough sticking out. All right, that looks like that'll work. So pretty much every one of these slide carbs so far takes around 2 1/4 at the end of the cable. Okay, throw this air filter on here. Man, this is a small carb. Makes you wonder how much power this thing will have. But it looks the same as like a Briggs 206 carb, an animal carb. There we go, so there's that carb on there, throttle hooked up. Now just throw a fuel tank on here and we should be good. So go ahead and put a tank on here. I'm gonna take the plates off of here. Oh cool, maybe this plate will fit on there because it already has a little nut welded on here. It might make it easier for me to bolt the tank on. At least this plate. We'll see. Oh yeah, that might work. Okay. Let's see if I can get these in here, I'm not sure. All right, that'll work. Cool, that nut's on there, welded on there on the plate. So it makes it easier for my tank mount. Okay, got the tank mounted on there. So I'll just hook up this fuel line and we should be good. And I'll throw some fuel in it, some oil. Go ahead and top this thing off. Some oil. Okay, there we go. Predator, Ghost. Okay, 0 to 30, Azusa bike, Predator Ghost. Let's see what the first 0 to 30 did. Did it in 4 seconds flat. So that's a lot quicker. Did 420 with the Predator with the governor zip tied. So let me do another one to back it up. Okay, second attempt, 0 to 30, Predator Ghost. Definitely a lot more torquey than the stock Predator because it lifts the front wheel off the ground a little bit. 3.93. So definitely a lot quicker. I'm not sure if I'll get a top speed out of it because it's rev limited. With this gear ratio, it takes it right up to the rev limiter, but I'll try. and see if I can beat 40 miles an hour with the rev limiter on here. Might end up having to throw a flywheel on it and get rid of the rev limiter. Okay, so the Ghost did 3.93 0 to 30, so definitely a lot quicker from 0 to 30 than the standard Predator with the governor zip tied, a header pipe, and a air filter. Top speed, it did 38 miles per hour, so I think it might be rev limited. Well, it is rev limited. Anyway, I'm gonna throw this stock Predator coil on there. So now's a good time to throw a billet flywheel on there too, and it'll add some timing. So we'll see how that wakes it up, and at least it'll make it more safe. So yeah, you can tell this thing has a lot more in it. It wants to rev. Okay. All right, yeah, let's get that coil on there, that limited coil. So I bet that's what it is. So let me pull this off of here, and we'll throw a stock coil on it, a stock Predator coil. Pop this flywheel off of here. Okay. So you have the billet flywheel and then the stock flywheel. This thing looks just like a stock Predator flywheel, or feels like it, and it's got the glued on magnet. Anyway, let me lap this flywheel in real quick. Throw some valve grinding compound on there. Okay, that looks pretty good. Clean this stuff off. Clean the flywheel off. So throw the stock flywheel key back on here. No need to put a advance of timing. Flywheel has 34 degrees timing built in. Nice and flush with that shaft. So the flywheel will slide right on. Okay. Let me pull this clutch off of here so I can throw my crank holding tool on here so I can torque that flywheel down. Chain off of here real quick. Pop this clutch back on here. Tighten up this engine again. Pop on this chain guard. Throw on this stock coil. Got my sleeve here, already at 60 thousandths, so go ahead and put that on there. Okay. Okay, so there we go. Billet flywheel and stock Predator 212 coil. So now it shouldn't be rev limited. Take it for a top speed, see what it does now. We got the billet flywheel installed on the Ghost engine. I'm gonna have to redo the 0 to 30 times too because there's more timing now and the flywheel's lighter. So I'm sure it's gonna change up the times a little bit. So anyway, I'm gonna go do a 0 to 30 and top speed. We'll try it again.
Tell it's a lot quicker already. 0 to 30, Billet flywheel, Predator Ghost, Azusa bike. I think I was kind of slow getting on it right there. And it did 3.80, the fastest time so far, or quickest time so far. Let me back that up. Second attempt, 0 to 30, Predator Ghost. Definitely runs a lot better. A 3.95, so 3.80, 3.95. Yeah, it's definitely quicker from 0 to 30. It even feels like it's gonna have a better top speed, you can already tell. We have to beat 38 miles an hour. Okay, so the bike had a top speed of 45.90. So the Predator Ghost on the Azusa bike with a Billet flywheel did 45.90 miles per hour, which was a lot faster, and 3.80 0 to 30. It's a lot more snappy too. So far with the Azusa bike, with the Predator 212, just standard Predator 212, governor, zip tied, header pipe, and an air filter, did 4.20 0 to 30 and 40.24 miles per hour, which is pretty good actually for just a pretty much stock Predator. Then the Ghost did 3.93, but then it's rev limited or RPM limited, so it did 38 miles per hour, and you could totally tell. So anyway, added the Billet flywheel, did 3.80, quickest so far. Definitely a lot more snappy and fun to ride with that flywheel on there, and more safe. And then 45.90 miles per hour. So 45.90 miles per hour, I think we're probably running into valve float now, it sounded like, when you get up there in the RPM range, because that thing is revving pretty hard. But yeah, the Ghost is definitely a fun engine, and it's definitely a little bit more powerful than the standard Predator with the governor zip tied, a header pipe, and an air filter.